So, how's everybody been?
Pretty good.
I think we're live now. Is Maria back on?
We're live.
Okay, great. Okay, Chair Tolentino, I think you can call the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, she froze.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. The Wi-Fi is so unstable. I'm so sorry, you guys.
Okay, I think we're live now. Chair
live.
Tolentino, you can call the meeting to order if you'd like.
All right, I will begin this meeting.
I think she froze.
Francisco should be calling the meeting, right?
Yeah, I think Vice Chair Audison, if you'd like to call the meeting to order until Chair Tolentino is able to get back on.
Okay, well, I would like to call this meeting to order, and I guess a roll call.
Let's start with roll call.
Or first we do the flag, or
Oh no, we do roll call first.
Roll call. Vice Chair Audison,
present.
Commissioner Aikman,
Present.
Commissioner Moore,
Present.
and Commissioner Trujillo is absent, and Chair Tolentino is having internet issues because she's here. We lost her.
Vice Chair, you could, if you'd like to call or start the Pledge of Allegiance or ask somebody to lead that, you can.
Yes, I hope the Ms. Atkins can do the flag salute for us.
Right hand over your heart. Proceed. I pledge allegiance
Just to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Atkins.
Okay, Vice Chair, I think you could, if you'd like to request approval for the agenda, you may do so now.
Okay. Oh gosh. Can I get an approval for the agenda for May 5th, 2021?
So approved.
Motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Maria, if you could take roll call.
Vice Chair Audison,
Present. Yes.
Commissioner Aikman,
Present.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes, we're voting yes on the agenda, right? Yes.
Yeah.
and for the
Yes.
record, Commissioner Trujillo and Chair Tolentino are absent.
But Chair Tolentino is she off?
Yes, she's off.
Okay, alrighty. Okay.
Public statements.
Is there any public statements at this moment?
Yes, we have two public statements.
Okay.
The first one, it's from Jasmine Castillo, and it starts with, "Hi, Ms. Padilla. I saw the email regarding the San Fernando parking and thought I'd take the opportunity to bring up somewhat related topic. Furthermore, I would like to submit these comments to be included in public comments for the report being sent to the Transportation and Safety Commission next Wednesday, please. At the intersection of Firmware and 4th, when there are cars parked on the south east part of the street on 4th, it is very dangerous to make a left when driving west on Firmware. Oftentimes, if a car is driving north on 4th Street, it can be seen until it's too late, and we have to speed up hastily to avoid it or slam on brakes to prevent an accident. It possesses significant safety concern. I would appreciate any guidance in helping us resolve this problem before it leads to an avoidable accident. Regards, Jasmine Castillo. And
Jasmine
maybe once I
Castillo.
come to Pastor Rudy in.
Sorry.
Okay, Commissioner
From Jasmine
Trujillo has
Castillo.
joined the meeting.
Is she on the line or it was
No,
just?
it was an email.
It was just an email.
And
Okay.
I'm trying to clarify who it's from. Jasmine Castillo.
yes,
And was there an address?
she did not provide an address. But it's the location is 4th and Firmware.
And I guess I could attest to that. It is kind of dangerous there because I live on the same street and I make the right and left turn there. And she's right. I know that we had requested for the corner streets to get painted red, and they done it, and that improved quite a bit. But still, it's kind of hard to see vehicles coming, like you said, on the east-south direction of the street on
Guys,
Fourth.
we should probably save this for later, yeah?
Yep.
Sure.
Because it is on the agenda, isn't it?
Yes.
Mhm.
And the second public comment, it is from Karina Rubalcava. Address is 600 Firmware Street. I'm reaching out because I was directed to you. I live on 600 Firmware Street, San Fernando, California, 91340, and we get about 10 cars whose speed per day double the speed limit. You can hear the cars just being inside the home, like if they are racing. I have been calling a few times a year to work with the city to find a resolution, such as adding a stop sign for the safety of our children. I look forward to attending the meeting today. And those are our 2 public comments that we received.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioner comments on that?
We would save the comments for either during the discussion on this matter or during general comments at the end during.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's item 3, so I was thinking we'd just save it for that, yeah.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
If I may, I just want to apologize to the whole commission and staff. Sorry I was late. I was so busy working. All of a sudden I said, oh my God, the meeting. So here I am. My apologies.
No need to apologize.
Vice Chair, at this point, you could request approval of the consent calendar.
Can I get a motion to for the consent of this calendar?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we approve that.
I'll second that emotion. Emotion? That's a song. I second that motion.
I like that song.
Roll call. Chair Tolentino is absent. Vice Chair Addison.
Here, yes.
Commissioner Aikman.
Yes.
Commissioner Moore.
Yes.
And Commissioner Trujillo.
That's a yes.
Okay, Vice Chair, we are moving on to the administrative reports. And if you'd like to read the title of the first report, if you have your agenda in front of you.
And I'm sorry, I apologize. I do not have it. My printer's been acting up. Like Ms. Tolentino, I guess something's going on with my Wi-Fi for that. I have a hard time trying to get it through my phone. not too savvy on that to go back and forth.
No worries. We can read those titles off and assign who's going to deliver those reports. On the administrative reports, item number 2 is a discussion of unlicensed driver program update. And at this point, I'd like to see if Commissioner Moore would like to provide us with an update on that program.
Sure, I will take over on that. Thank you so much. So there's no action to be taken on this. We are just filing this report. We will be holding our workshop on a week from tomorrow, actually, on Thursday, May 13th at 7:00 p.m. Do I have permission to share my screen?
Absolutely. Let me make sure you have the, sorry. Can you set that up?
Yes,
okay.
you can share your screen.
Okay, so here is a copy of the image, which was in the packet, and I can also share a link with you all to it. So it has been made Instagram friendly, so it is square. I'm trying to zoom out on it and on the things in my way so I can. So it's nice and square and Instagrammable in hopes that we can reach our target audience of people between the ages of approximately 15 and 25 is sort of the age range we're looking for, but anybody who does not have a driver's license is who that we are hoping to reach. And I would also like to show you, so it's going to be on Zoom and on our YouTube channel if we get full on Zoom, or for anyone who doesn't necessarily want to log in there. We are going to be covering a variety of topics, but primarily those topics center around the risks of driving without a license, as well as the benefits of getting one. And we are hoping to demystify the process and reduce some of the anxiety that people feel towards it. I will show you my work in progress. I still need to work with Sergeant Aguirre to clean this up a little bit, but I have our adorable little outline here. I am trying to keep all of our color scheme kind of blue and red and yellow and fun. So we will be going over the risks of driving without a license, how to get a driver's license, the process for licenses for undocumented Californians, and then there will also be a Q&A. We have some information about the risks and why it's a problem. And I will be going over some of the process. I still need to work through some of this, but I have the information on the process and the forms, and this PowerPoint will be shared with those who attend so that they're able to click all those lovely links. Everything underlined is a link to forms, and there's information about the process and the fact that they can retake the test if they don't pass it. So that is sort of what we will be going over, is those various things. That's just a preview. I won't share it all now because I don't want to steal my thunder for next week, but that is what we will be presenting on. So please spread the word, share with everyone you know about it. Here is a lovely link that is shareable. Oh yeah, it's totally open to all. I was just saying Instagram because I know that people tend to, I have done some of the research on it, and people tend to, as they get older, get licenses as it becomes less and less convenient. So I thought, okay, Instagram is the way to go to reach the younger folks. So I made a square image, but there is a link to share with everyone. Anyone who is interested. I think it's also great for parents, people who may be needing to seek a driver's license soon. So yeah, there's a shareable link, which we are also spreading the information in the city's various channels, and we look forward to reaching the community on an issue that is so important.
Good job.
Great job.
I did have a question. I raised my hand, but with all the colors, you probably can't see it. I love the flyer. Is it possible to add the ages on that first flyer so that we could share it ahead of time?
Oh, what I was saying is anyone can come. So we don't need to add the ages because it's open to all. I was just clarifying that the only reason I tried to gear my imagery towards Instagram was to reach those ages, but I don't want to put ages because I would love anyone who wants
Yeah.
license.
No, the reason I needed to know the ages because I was under the impression that there are laws at certain age that youth can actually begin to go through the process of getting their driver's license. Is that correct?
Yes, it's 15 and a half. However, my 14-year-old son will most definitely be watching my presentation.
Really? Oh, okay. So, but can they actually, I guess my other question tied to that is because they can't actually officially get a driver's license until 17, right?
No, 16. They can get a driver's
Really?
16.
Okay.
It is a graduated license, which means that they do not have all of the full permissions to drive unabated.
Oh, okay.
Adults
Okay.
have.
Yeah, so that makes it,
Yeah.
yes, I'm sorry, Commissioner, but it's just that when I state like license, boom, that means like full everything. So I think it for those that are 17 and under, they have to have an adult with them and they can only
No,
drive to a certain time.
no. They can, at 16 years old, you are able to get a license. You are just not able to transport other children with you.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And there are hours though, but they are allowed to drive without an adult. And there are graduated license laws in place that are meant to prevent teenagers from joyriding, I suppose. But
Yeah.
they are still able to get a license that does allow them to drive by themselves without another licensed driver in the car at 16 years old. And they can begin the process of applying at 15 and a half.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the information. Because we do have youth that, that all of us are probably tied to in the community that, just can't wait to get that license. So thank you for sharing that information.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
surprisingly though, actually the research shows that sentiment that we had when we were younger, and I say we, and you probably all think that that's not me, but I'm older than I look, that in the past 20 years, the desire to get a driver's license among teenagers has actually rapidly declined. The number of teenagers getting licenses just keeps going down, and a lot of it has to do with cost as well as busyness of their lives, as well as with rideshare being much more readily available and increasing public transportation and things like that. And the cost of insurance and driving as well, that fewer and fewer teenagers are getting licenses. However, that doesn't mean necessarily that they're not getting behind the wheel, as we have seen, unfortunately, within the city, and the number of drivers that are often cited for driving without a license. So that's why they're not exactly eager to go grab that license, but we want to make them eager and make them see that it is something that is not as unattainable as it seems. So that is my goal.
Thank you so much again, because I just want to share you guys that in working with youth diversion and development, which is the process of kids that actually get cited by police departments and in some cases summoned to court. So we find that throughout the valley, we're having issues with that as far as it relates to the county program, the YDD. So it's a great opportunity because, of course, they're being diverted so that they don't fall under the juvenile justice court system. But the driver's license side of it, I thank you so much because just from that understanding of knowing what the police departments, the divisions are dealing with across the valley is a huge piece. San Fernando is a different story, but thank you.
Mhm.
It'd be nice to have our officer back again. We haven't seen him since last year. And a lot of interesting things have gone on with Nikki and the work that you've done on this.
He was here a couple of meetings ago. They've been having a lot of technical difficulties at the station, so it has made it difficult for him to get on our meetings and whatnot. But I imagine he'll be back soon. He was on, I think, last Wednesday though, so this is his off night. I have been working with Sergeant Aguirre on the side about this presentation though. So, yeah.
Thank you.
But he also keeps us up on the other issues in the police department, which are interesting.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, I can move on to the next item, discussion of potential traffic studies at the intersection of South Huntington Street and Griffith Street, 4th Street and Firmware Street, and 5th Street and Firmware Street. And for this report, I'm going to turn it over to Manuel to give us an update. These were based on public comments that came up at our last meeting. So we wanted to agendize those and bring those forward to the commission for consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, commissioners. As Matt stated, this item is here because of the public comments that we received at the last month's meeting, and some of the concerns that were brought up tonight too regarding traffic safety concerns at a couple of locations within the city. The first location is the intersection of 4th Street and Firmware Street. The resident stated that it's a high traffic area, and she had observed incidents where vehicles failed to yield to pedestrians trying to cross the street. Currently, the existing conditions at this location include a two-way stop sign along Firmware Street. The resident is requesting that we add stop signs along 4th Street and make it a four-way stop. The nearest intersection with stop signs and crosswalks are Harding Avenue 2 blocks east and Orange Grove 2 blocks west. Firmware would be the midpoint between these two other intersections. We are also looking at adding 5th Street and Firmware Street, being that it has similar conditions. We would recommend it for a traffic study as well. The second location that was brought up during last month's public comment is the area of South Huntington between Hollister Street and Woodworth Street. In particular, the intersection of Huntington and Griffith. The resident stated that vehicles are speeding on Huntington Street and would like us to install flashing beacons at the existing stop signs at Huntington and Griffith. A study for installation of speed humps was previously conducted in the area, but unfortunately did not meet the criteria in the traffic calming plan. The resident would also like to know what other options may exist for traffic calming in the area. Tonight, we are seeking direction from the commission to perform these traffic studies at these locations. Upon receiving the recommendations from the traffic engineer, we would come back and provide you with an update. Thank you.
Vice Chair, if you'd like to see if there's any comments from the commissioners.
You're muted.
All right, there you go.
Okay. Is there any comment from the commission on this agenda?
I would have a comment on that. Thank you, Commissioner. On Huntington. So I have a feeling that to bypass traffic coming off of Rinaldi and then crossing over into San Fernando, I think there is an issue with people trying to take a shortcut by making that left turn and going onto Huntington, heading in the direction of Las Palmas Park, because we usually frequent that area a lot, especially for the fact that there's a park there. Right now, we don't have as much activity going on there due to the pandemic, but we still have city residents that actually still use Las Palmas Park to go walking for exercise, and even though under this pandemic order. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because there's that tendency to take the shortcut to get on Huntington as quick as possible. And the reality is they are speeding from there to where they reach Las Palmas Park. Then they'll usually make a quick left turn and then another right to continue on Huntington, coming out toward Truman, San Fernando Road area. So that's like kind of like a huge L, so to speak. You know what I mean? Or big, almost an L, not quite, but where the traffic, it seems like, and so I understand what they're saying as it relates to that particular area. But I understand the staff says that they've already looked at it. There's been no reports or has there really been a study done on that as far as like with I know that they roll out what is that, the counter or something that they lay across the streets to actually count how many cars are going through there, the amount of cars and the hours that they go through to try to determine when the most traffic is going through those places. And I would say that probably it is during what do you call it, commuter hours, usually mornings and then toward the evenings when they're coming home. So I'm wondering if there was a study already, or if that's something that the study would help to confirm in that.
Yes, the previous study for speed humps took into consideration traffic volume.
So they're saying that they didn't find the traffic volume on the past study?
To go back to the study, but also for the speed hump request, one of the criteria there is that it cannot be a transit route. Unfortunately, we have our trolley, which uses that route.
Oh, okay.
Therefore,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I get it. So usually if the trolley wasn't using that, that really would qualify for that. If that wasn't within the route for the trolley, then it probably would have qualified. Is that correct?
it would depend on the traffic volume and other criteria of the traffic calming plan.
Okay. Thank you for that info, because I forgot that it goes through there. So I don't know if that makes it worse or not, because of the fact that people do use that trolley and get off there near Las Palmas Park. And I know that when things get back to being a little bit more normal, I know our senior citizens use that to get to Las Palmas Park. And who else is going to be using that? So that'll be an interesting to go back and look at it, possibly just to see what it's going to look like. Either way, it's not going to qualify for the fact that the trolley is on that route or on that street. So I guess, is there any other option versus like putting speed humps that would be considered for that?
Right, that's the traffic study that we will be conducting. Try to see what other options are out there to mitigate the speed up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, one of the other things that we can look at, is the flashing beacons at the stop signs. So that is one of the other things we'll have the traffic engineer review and look at for us.
Vice Chair Arizon, may I?
Yes, of course.
Looking at the agenda packet we were provided, I did notice that there seems to be a difference between the two areas that we are looking at. There is the area along Firmware, which would be 4th and 5th Street, is the primary focus of the traffic study. Is that correct? And then there's the area on South Huntington and Griffith. Since it does not appear that any traffic study has previously been done in this area, and that staff did note that it meets the minimum distance qualifications of that area, I am of the opinion that a traffic study in that area on Firmware is warranted. However, the second one said in the past a traffic study was conducted on South Huntington Street for the possibility of installing speed humps, which is what Commissioner Trujillo was just bringing up. And it was concluded that the criteria set forth in the San Fernando's traffic calming master plan were not met. So since that's a similar area, and then the budget impact is pretty intense. The fee for the traffic engineer to perform the study is $275 an hour. I'm wondering if perhaps we should do one at a time and start with the Firmware area, and then also wait to see what the transportation study that we have looked at for safe and walkable streets determines before we move on to the second area, because I know that that area is one of the highlights of the Safe and Walkable Streets area, I believe. So that is for consideration, I suppose.
Well, point well taken. This question is for the city. The study that was done on Huntington Street going towards Griffith, when was this study completed?
I can't recall. I have to go back to our records.
Okay. When you're able to get us that information. But meanwhile, if the commission would like to modify the study and split it in two, and somebody would like to make a motion.
Well, we're just testing it. I'd love to hear what the rest of the commission.
Yeah, Chair, if I may, Arizon, you know, in considering what Commissioner Moore was stating, is it possible to look to see, because I'm not, you know, I was a part of at one time of the Safe Active Streets and all this, but is it possible to just look at the two components and kind of like look at it in a sense to see what they're planning to do and to see if it in fact includes any kind of studies related to those areas? Because one of the things I do recall was just the idea that they were trying to really slow down traffic around, in particular, schools and parks, while trying to engage more, you know, walking and biking and whatnot. So after hearing some of the things that were brought up, can we look at it from taking the lens of what they're planning to do through the Safe Active Streets, and then also combining this in there together? Is that possible to do that so that we could get more of an accurate picture of what that looks like, and then make decisions that are going to be somewhat costly or you know, it's going to cost, right? So why not? And I don't know how far away those projections are that are coming into play. So I think those are some of the questions that I would probably need answered to really have more input in this, as far as like us making a motion or anything like that. Thank you.
Well, Commissioner Trujillo, if you'd like, I could answer your questions on Safe and Active Streets, because the project will be completed by the end of this year, beginning of next year, and they'll be looking a lot of different areas. It's hard to say for sure if that particular intersection will be looked at, but it's certainly an area or comments that could be brought up as part of the study, and there might be suggested improvements that might come out of that study. But again, the timeline for that would be conceptual plans would be developed by the end of the year that we would take out for construction. But they might suggest, they're also suggesting projects that are quick build or easy to do with very little. So that might be painting curbs and things like that. So those are things that could come out of the study. But the timeline for the study itself, before there would be any action taken on implementation of the study, would be end of this year, and then projects starting sometime in the next year after that as we get funding for them.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the commissioners? If no other comments from the commissioners, and what is your pleasure?
I'd like to make a motion that we direct staff to do the traffic study on 4th and 5th and Firmware this month, and to hold off for additional feedback on Huntington and Griffith, given the multiple comments on Firmware, as well as the lack of a previous traffic study in the area.
Yeah, I would second that.
Okay. Roll call.
Vice Chair Addison,
Yes.
Commissioner Aikman,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
That's a yes.
And for the record, Vice Chair Tolentino is absent.
Okay, Vice Chair, I think we're moving on to staff communications and then general comments. So
Okay.
if you'd like to move forward.
Yeah. Like they say, let us have it. I know you have a lot of information for us.
Sure. On the agenda, we have the standing update for the Safe and Active Streets plan and that project, which we brought up earlier. I'll give you a few quick updates on that. The advisory group for the Safe and Active Streets project is actually meeting tomorrow, and we're talking about community outreach efforts and discussion of the bike and walking audits that will begin in the next week and continue for about a 4-week period. We are actually starting to promote and reach out to the community as a whole to try to sign up for the project. So through the city manager's report today that was released, there was a link to that, and we'll be working tomorrow through the advisory group on how to get that, promoting that link for the biking and walking audits. So there'll be a series of walking audits around the city that will be looking at prioritized areas, areas that need to be looked at in terms of safe walking and biking options, improvements that can be made, also promoting just getting out to do, so people feel like it's easy to get out there and walk and bike. And so we're going to be meeting as a group tomorrow to discuss how to get the word out, really trying to get everybody. Every time we're meeting here as a commission, we'll continue to keep promoting this project so that we can get the community's involvement. So there are going to be 6 walk audits and 2 biking audits. The 6 walk audits will be roughly a mile to a mile and a half loop through different parts of the city. And it's not just looking at those prioritized areas, it's also looking at the type of problems that are common to see. And then while we're having the community along with the group that's doing the project, we'll be seeking feedback from them, input from them on things that they're observing and comments so that we can get as many comments ahead of time into the process. And then there'll be other opportunities for the community to get involved and provide input and help inform this whole project. So again, we're meeting tomorrow. The bike and the walking audits will start. There'll be a couple next week, and those will continue into June, as well as the biking audits. So we're excited to get moving on this. I know Commissioner Moore is on the advisory group. I'm not sure if you're able to attend tomorrow with teaching, right?
All the time, yeah, it's during.
It's a bad time. Yeah,
I did want to comment, since we're on this, the number one thing on the agenda is review high priority corridors. So if you could add the areas surrounding Las Palmas Park to discussion, I would appreciate it, since I won't be there. But they did say they'd send me the video, and I'm very interested in being part of those walk audits. So
yeah, if you haven't seen the link, I'll send it off to you so you can sign up, and also you and everybody in the commission, if people you can push the link out through emails to folks and all they have to do is click on that link. It takes them to a sign up sheet and it tells them the dates and the times that the audits are going to be done, where they're going to be done, so they can choose which one makes the most sense for them, and the ones they're most interested in, or you can click all of them if you want to. We're just trying to get as many people to participate as possible. There is a limited number of spots because we still have some COVID protocols we have to follow, unfortunately, so we can't have enormous groups, but I think we're trying to get as many people on these audits as we can. So I can send that. I can send the link out to every one of you on the commission, and as you have time, you can send that out to the community. Anybody that might be interested, that'll be great. But Commissioner Moore, I'll definitely get your comment about you're interested in looking at Las Palmas area. That's basically what I have on Safe and Active Streets. Like I said, I'll continue to update the commission on this. It's going to start moving fast now. we really only have about another 7 months left in this project. So we're in still data gathering mode. And then the designer is going to start working on concept plans and sharing those with the community and getting more and more feedback. And we'll make adjustments and changes based on that feedback. But the end product should really involve a lot of input and feedback from the community so that we are able to start. And then again, this is the first phase of this. Like, there's a lot of areas, but right now we have to prioritize and focus on 8 areas that we can do plans for. And this project will continue even after this phase is done. We'll try to go get more funding to do a second phase and make more improvements. We just have limited funds that we can tackle with this at this point in time. So, but that is all I have for staff communication.
Okay. I guess the only thing that's left is to adjourn the meeting.
Actually, general comments, if anybody. Yes.
Oh, I thought we had that first thing. Okay, general comments from the public or anybody.
For the commissioners, if there's anybody who wants to add in anything.
Want to remind everybody that Thursday, May 6th, tomorrow, it's between 6 and 7:30. We're going to have another meeting of to talk about the parking solutions, and join us virtually. Love to have all of you participate.
Okay, can you share a link to that, or is that going to be a Zoom session?
I believe it is a Zoom link, yes. And it would be a little hard for me to do that here. Can we send it out to you? Maria,
Oh
can you
yeah,
send that to
absolutely.
me?
Just in case I'm able to pop in or something.
Been on this
All of the commissioners, the Zoom link.
I'll forward a copy of the flyer.
Send it out to all the commissioners. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
They're exciting meetings. There's a lot going on in the meeting.
Any other comments?
Yeah, if I may, I just wanted to add an update from the other commission that I'm on, which is the Education Commission, which is actually, it's a great partnership for being able to do things like promote things like unlicensed driver workshops. The city is awarded a number of scholarships. There were 12 scholarships awarded this month to teenagers and young people. Some of them are college students, actually, to high school students and college students from the city of San Fernando. And we will be celebrating them this month with one of the city's first in-person celebrations. It will be a drive-through later this month where we will be handing them checks and goodies. So we are very excited to celebrate them. And I just feel so excited to see the number of students in this community going to college. In fact, some very exciting news. We have Ivy League folk coming out of Cesar Chavez. There is, I believe, a Harvard and a Stanford coming out of Cesar Chavez Learning Academy. So I am proud to be from this wonderful little city that is producing such distinguished graduates. So celebrate them. A press release went out in your city email, and yeah, give them a grand round of applause. Thank you.
Yay. Thank
Oh my God, if I may, Vice Chair.
Sure.
You know what? God, I'm so proud of these youngsters that I heard about this, that going to Harvard, and oh my God, in our area, and I kept wondering, what school is she at? Where's she coming from? Because I didn't read the whole article and all that, but awesome news. Oh, by the way, I did run across our former principal from Vaughn. Golly, his name slips my mariachi brother. What's that?
Stan Leandro. He was
There you go.
13.
Yes. So yes, I was doing. Unfortunately, I was doing a funeral, and he's now doing mariachi and all that, and he retired. But just my hats off, just to this community, this North Valley, of their dedication, their commitment, that the youth that they're producing that are coming out. Only because I'm privileged to also see some of our graduates that are coming, that have come from the North Valley and through CSUN mission, and just making headway and coming back into the community, getting involved in service organizations to impact the communities they came out of. So just as a commissioner, I just want to just congratulate these students, these future leaders of our nation. Who knows? I'm hoping that they land back in our backyards and contribute back and all that. Of course, we know that some move on and go to you know I don't want to say greater heights, but greater heights. But hopefully that they can still maintain that spirit of excellence and service, that giving back to their communities. So, job well done. I just want to salute all of our teachers and educators and all of that. God bless them.
Perhaps we could adjourn tonight in honor of the class of 2021.
Well, I would like to put my 2 cents in here. My neighbors, my next door neighbors, 18 years ago, gave me a little girl. They had a baby girl. And I've watched her grow through the years and attended all of the parties and things. And her quinceañera, did I say it right? And she is not only the speaker of her graduating class, but she's going on to a full scholarship at St. Mary's College.
Beautiful. Amazing.
Very proud of her.
Now, Commissioner Moore, I think you had a motion on the tip of your tongue.
It was
I
just
interrupted. I'm sorry.
oh no, I wasn't quite motioning yet. I was just throwing. But I'll make that motion. I'd like to motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting in honor of the San Fernando graduates of the class of 2021.
I like to second that.
There you go.
And I'd like to agree to all of it.
So will I.
Vice Chair Addison,
Yes.
Commissioner Aikman,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
That's a yes.
For the record, Chair Tolentino is absent.
I'll see you all later.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye.
Let's hear, if you had a hammer, you'd be like, ta!
Yeah, you guys gave me a crash course today. Not prepared at all.